Hello, this is Jess. Chat session number 28, November 28th, 2017. And we're going to go right into the tidbits of history. This is 1520. After sailing through the dangerous straits below South America that now bear his name, Portuguese navigator Ferdinand Magellan enters the Pacific Ocean with 3 ships, becoming the first European explorer to reach the Pacific from the Atlantic. They started out from Spain, and they went through all the stuff going around trying to find a crossing by South America. They camped out in winter somewhere where they thought they were going to get through and they couldn't, so they camped out through the winter. The people rebelled. Magellan was able to control the revolt, killed some of the captains, and then they went on to search for that crossing, and they eventually found it. What started out with 5 ships, they ended up with 3. And by the time they got through the straits coming around to go to the Pacific, they were actually chewing their leather off of their weapons and different things they had to survive. And then they eventually got there, and they landed on Guam, and they met some I guess a Indian chief or whatever, and he converted to Christianity and convinced them to go fight another tribe that was in revolt against their tribe. Magellan was killed by a poison arrow and left to die, and so they ended up with just 2 ships, and they made it to the Indonesian area where they were able to fill their ships with spices and different things. One ship tried to go back the way they came and did not make it. The other ship sailed the opposite direction and became the first ship to circumnavigate the globe, and they made it back to Spain. So explorers, that kind of stuff, pretty rough back then, but they managed to get it done. And now we're going to go into the next little tidbit of history. 1925, the Grand Ole Opry, one of the longest lived and most popular showcase for Western music, begins broadcasting live from Nashville, Tennessee. The showcase was originally named the Barn Dance after a Chicago radio program called the National Barn Dance that had begun broadcasting the previous year. They went on to become the Grand Ole Opry. They basically were broadcasting to the South because the southern states at that time could not pick up the signal from Chicago, so they started broadcasting from Tennessee, and the rest is history. They've been doing it ever since. At one point, the staff and musicians, whatever, were requested to dress up in old school Western wear because that's what it was basically based on. And so that they started liking that, so that's how they had to dress when they played. They dressed up in the old style Western wear, that kind of stuff. So it's come a long way since then, but that's the history of the Grand Ole Opry, and that was on this date in 1925. It's Tuesday, November 28th. Getting ready to lay down for a couple of 3 hours so that I can go to work at 5 this evening. I've called the doctor about my results, and apparently they haven't had a chance to get any. But I will be waiting on that so I know what my next step in my procedures are. Hopefully this afternoon somebody will call, and Anita, I gave the doctor's office her number so I could sleep. So she'll get the information hopefully before I go to work so I know what's going on. I went to my job this morning to see about getting my short-term disability started, and it turns out that I never signed up for it. So that's that. But they do have a foundation for the company that helps in situations like mine. So I got a lot of paperwork to fill out, get forms filled out, and turn that back in to help with some of the expenses that I'm going to be incurring and missing work, that kind of stuff. I've used up all my paid time, and without the short-term disability, I won't have any income. So I'm going to be applying for these other avenues that they have for people in financial hardships concerning missing work and the medical expenses. Now, I do have full coverage on my insurance, and that's going to stay in effect. So at least part of the stuff will be taken care of immediately, and get this paperwork turned in to the foundation so that I can hopefully get some kind of financial help if I need it. And if I don't, I'll just go to work and continue on. But apparently I'm going to miss work with this surgery they're getting ready to do, so we'll cover that base when it gets here. If I'm really disappointed that I always get short-term disability of any job I've ever been at, but apparently I read it wrong or signed the wrong form or something. But I'm not on my insurance coverage. I'm not in short-term disability, which is, like I said, amazing to me because I always do that. But anyway, that's neither here nor there now. So that's that. I do have some questions concerning things with my situation that I got to get the results of these scans first so I can understand more fully what's going on. Like I said, hopefully this afternoon I'll know more. But be going back to work tonight, and I'll work until they schedule this surgery, and then I'll go from there on what I'm going to do. Anita's been very helpful in my procedure so far. She's been at everything that I've had done and helped me get through the way I act when people start putting needles in me. I wish I had some kind of control over that, but it's just involuntary, actually, or subconscious, I don't know. But I just get all tensed up and nervous, and they got to call in other people and all kinds of stuff. But I'm going to work on that. I'm going to work on my mental control when I'm in that situation, just because I'm probably going to be having a lot of it done, and I need to learn how to control myself better than I have been. Now, this last time, yesterday, with the CAT scan or the CT scan, I just closed my eyes and said I'm going to relax, and they were able to do what they needed to do after a little bit of resistance from me. But I just made up my mind that I was going to relax, and I did. No guarantees for the next time, but I'm working on it. Okay, I'm going to be laying down here shortly, so we'll call this a chat session number 28 complete. We've got a big game coming up this Thursday, the Dallas Cowboys versus the Redskins. I'm definitely a Cowboys fan in this one. The Cowboys have lost 3 in a row, haven't scored above, I guess their average is 10 points or less in the last 3 games. And that's the worst in franchise history. They started off so strong. Everybody was, Super Bowl this, Super Bowl that. But they had issues like every other team's having, and they just can't seem to get it back together. I blame that on the organization. Garrett, the head coach, is slow to respond to changes and tries to run the same thing that was working for him when they had all their players. And apparently it doesn't. And they need to make some changes, so I blame the coaching staff on that. And it may not even necessarily be their fault, but it seems like they're just not making any adjustments where they need to be to help the team win. They're not out of the playoff picture yet, but if they keep this slide they got going on, they will be. So good luck, Cowboys, this Thursday. It's a big rivalry. I think they can beat the Redskins if they just focus on getting these changes need to be made in the areas for the running game, and also working with Dak Prescott on the passing game, getting some things going, getting the offensive line to block, that kind of stuff. But anyway, okay, here we are. Like I said, we're going to call this a short one. Like to end it like I always do, my chat sessions. So we'll go ahead and do that. Be truthful, be happy, and let's look out for each other, okay? Till next time, hopefully 29, be tomorrow sometime. Have a great Tuesday afternoon, and go Seattle. They're going to win this week. They're definitely in the playoffs if they keep winning. So good luck, Seattle. All right, have a great day. Bye.